So, welcome back to another episode. And today, with Rob Man, we're going to look back at some of our favorite memories with a magazine that we grew up with and we think is our favorite video game magazine. Like, hands down. There was EGM, Game Pro, some other ones.
Game Players.
Game Players, yeah, that was the one.
Yeah.
But out of all of them, this, I think it was like once a month, every Sunday. Mm-hmm. We'd always go down to our local grocery kind of place. It was called Save On Foods. And we pick up the latest issue of Game Fan magazine. And what do you think was so amazing about this magazine? I know, but I want to hear what you have to say about it.
Now, you know what? We need to step back into the Wayback Machine for this, because a lot of the folks that are watching this now, obviously on YouTube, the internet has permeated life. The internet is life. And so nowadays you can find anything you want, anytime you want, about any game you want, all the way through from the moment it's announced to the day it comes out. When we were gaming, this was our internet. Once a month, these little packages of joy showed up in the grocery store, and you brought it home and you just read and looked at every screenshot and dreamed of the possibilities. And it was a really magical time.
Because yeah, in a way, all you had was a few screenshots and your imagination and what they wrote about. And we trusted these guys more than anybody else. I think why I personally like them, they were talking about import gaming a lot. And that was what was so interesting to me. And always in the back, they always showed all the games that you could import and all that. I used to get so excited about that kinds of stuff.
Another thing that I always found fantastic about these guys specifically, aside from their passion, was their interest in, as you said, import gaming. Mm-hmm. And the fact that they dug for those hidden gems. Like, almost any game you can call a collector piece and a rare gem now, these guys were announcing the first word of, and they were following every step through.
Absolutely.
And it was a beautiful and amazing thing to...
It really was. Like, we're so nostalgic about this magazine. That's why I have so many of these, you know, and I'll never get rid of them, ever. And me and Rob, before we even did this, we actually pulled up the stack and we were looking through them all. I don't want to sound hokey here, but every one is a gem.
Yeah.
But what we've decided to do is pick just one issue and kind of talk about it and have some memories with it. You know, talk about when it first came out, what our thoughts were, and all that great stuff. So grab yours.
All right. This is going to be a nice little trip in the Wayback Machine. This is Volume 2, Issue 1. Now, I bought this in Seattle. Mm-hmm. The only other time I've been besides PAX.
Yeah.
I went in high school with a kid I knew to visit some friends of his, or his family of his. And I saw it in a grocery store, and I'd never heard of it, never seen it before, and I bought it for one reason only. It has a 5-page expose of Mega Man X for the Super Nintendo.
Wow.
Blew my friggin' mind. And when I saw that, I had to buy it. And I read that article every time I see it on the bookshelf. I'll just pull it open, I'll flip through right to where it is in the Super NES section, and I'll just look at it over and over and over again. Right at the beginning of the Super Nintendo Planet SNES. We'll probably do a close-up on this in a bit. But I mean, it was just beautiful. There was 5 whole pages of beautiful screenshots. This, by the way, a typical layout for this magazine was lots of screenshots, lots of artwork, and the words squeezed in around the sides because they really wanted to make the games the star of the magazine.
Yeah.
I mean, look at these screenshots. How could I not be just burning with passion for this game?
Like, trust me, Sundays were a very exciting time for us. I remember we'd actually go up there, you know, together and be like, oh my god, the new one, and we'd both get our issues of it and, you know, take off home and actually sit and read it. It was amazing.
Now, this one also has some of the first stuff about the Atari Jaguar in it. It has Lunar the Silver Star for the Sega CD. Mm-hmm. It has Art of Fighting 2. It has just so many amazing games. You just flip through Zool for the Super Nintendo.
Yeah.
You know, There's Cotton, the shooter. People should know the old shooter Cotton. It had what was the PC Engine one that I was mentioning earlier in here? Like the Illusion of Gaia for the Super NES, right there.
That was a big deal.
Every single one of these magazines had so many amazing reviews.
Yeah.
That it wasn't just, you know, the 1 or 2 games that you really want to focus on. There was like all of them.
Yeah.
All of them. This is the Jaguar section, Real 3DO.
Oh, here's a game that not many people remember. Flash Hiders. This was a really big fighting game on the PC Engine. And I remember being really excited for that game.
See, and I love the right down the side. We'll zoom in on it after. But all these close-ups of the anime movie sequences that they had in there. Mm-hmm. And they're just these great screenshots. And it's not of gameplay, it's not of character designs, it's just stills from the movie, so you knew when you actually saw it
Yeah.
It was gonna blow your mind seeing it in motion.
Yeah.
Dracula X, that was the PC Engine one. I mean, look at this. All of those in one issue.
This is our era of video gaming. Yeah, this is why we get so excited about it. It really was a magical time. When import gaming was exciting, it was like Japan was like, they had the greatest gems. I wanted every game out of Japan back then.
Oh, and every time one of these would come out, it was just, we'd go to the store, we'd buy it, we'd go home, we'd brew up a bunch of tea. Back when we used to smoke, we'd smoke cigarettes, and we'd talk about what was coming out. Remember that one picture of Legend of Zelda 64?
Yeah.
Where you had the Pinocchio nose?
Yes.
And we just sat there and just daydreamed.
This is so weird. We used to smoke back then, and we used to just smoke and philosophize for hours about what the new Zelda was going to be, and and that was a great thing. This was, as Rob said, pre-internet days, so you didn't know what anything was going to be. You didn't know what the music was going to be. You didn't know anything. So when you did get a game back then, wow, it was really a magical time. And that kind of leads me right into this issue of Game Fan. What a great issue this is. This is, and I'm wearing the shirt here. God damn it. I didn't know. It's so funny when I picked this Game Fan up all these years ago, and I saw Castlevania Symphony of the Night. Little did I know that I'd be sitting around with you in the future wearing this Castlevania Symphony of the Night shirt, doing this show on the internet about our love for these games and these times in our lives. And wow, it's so amazing. And I'm gonna talk about it. The very first time we were reading this magazine, and we read up and saw all the screenshots of Symphony of the Night. Oh, one of my favorite, I can actually say, my favorite Castlevania game of all time.
Yep.
And these guys, what I loved about them, they kind of remind us of us in a way. They're very passionate about this stuff. It's like, when they go into details about the graphics, you can tell that they're really in love. And the way they would describe some of these levels and how, how the graphics looked and the music, they would really gush about it. And as a fan back then, that's what I wanted to hear. As a fan now, that's what I want to hear. And just remember seeing all this stuff?
God, I remember those boss fights.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Castlevania Symphony of the Night, what an amazing one. And I'll just keep on flipping through here. This is so cool to look back on all this stuff. Vandal Hearts?
Oh my god.
Great strategy game on the PS1. Look at that.
Good stuff.
I know, there's so much good stuff back
And you
there.
know what?
Oh.
What?
Sorry.
No, go for it. This is... Oh.
Wild Arms. I know we've never talked about it, and we've really wanted to. Me and Rob have a major love affair with Wild Arms.
I remember coming to your house the day you bought it, sitting down with you with our cups of tea.
Yeah.
You put on that intro, and we both just sat back blown away by the animated intro and the music.
The music was so incredible.
It still haunts me.
Still haunts me now. And Wild Arms is an excellent RPG back then. I thought it was a great one for PS1.
And I have to say, in my opinion, these were, to me, the golden age of gaming. I mean, the Super Nintendo and the PS1 Saturn era, that was where the last of the true sort of gaming wasn't big yet. It was a niche thing. It was special. Import anime RPGs and things were kind of like these little secret gems that you could treasure because you knew not everybody knew about them.
And this is really before Final Fantasy VII, so
oh yes,
RPGs were very they weren't very big in this country, and that wasn't until Final Fantasy VII really blew it up and RPGs became, well, I'd say, and console RPGs became mainstream because of that. Like, look at that! Exactly as we're talking, I see Forest of Eden, The Apocalypse. I remember reading the article on this and drooling, knowing that we'd never get it, and we never have. King of Fighters 96 and all that. But I really got to say, like, I used to love the back of these magazines where they'd show all of the things that you could import, all the soundtracks, like Chrono Trigger. Final Fantasy VI soundtrack, Secret of Mana soundtrack, this stuff, and it was expensive stuff back then. Like, importing some of these games was very, very expensive, but so alluring. And being young guys that we didn't have very much money, so we just looked at the back and would dream about possibly getting this stuff. But yeah, it's funny just to flip through. We could sit and go through. We could make a 20-part episode. Oh my God, look at this! The Phantasy Star 4 issue.
The reveal of the N64 when it was called the Ultra 64.
And here's another one. Here's the very first Game Fan magazine I ever bought. Volume 1, issue 3.
Oh my God!
I got this for Christmas. I got this for Christmas one year. And I think this was the first issue I read about Ghost Warriors
Whose
Forgotten.
Journey? Oh,
yeah.
God.
Fatal Fury?
Oh my god, like the first.
Yeah, on the Neo Geo. That was freaking amazing.
They had a graveyard segment even back then.
Yeah, on the Grand Zords, on the
my
on the Super
God.
Graphics. It's so funny. Oh man, yeah. This was a great issue. I think was this the yes. This is the issue that introduced me. This is huge. Streets of Rage 2. I read about it, and I got this on Christmas morning. On Boxing Day, I went and picked up Streets of Rage 2. Oh god,
man.
that was amazing. And then we got another one. I know it's in here. I've always wanted to talk about this. Landstalker. What a fantastic game. I'm gonna talk about Landstalker in the future. This was like a Zelda 3/4 overhead game.
I intend to challenge this game someday, but from some of the things I've heard about it, I may have to stock up on controllers.
I'll say this much about Landstalker. I'll say this much before I say no more. I finished the game, and it is quite literally the hardest video game I've ever played in my life. It really is the hardest, and I will explain why in the future. I'm sure I'll do an episode on that.
I'm just gonna ask out of curiosity while we're here, because I finished Alundra, which is the same guys,
Yes.
similar style,
Absolutely.
and that almost killed me.
Yeah.
Finishing that. So am I looking at the similar struggle? Is it going to be like as difficult or more?
Some of the puzzles are very obscure.
Okay.
And now you can just go and check out on the internet all the answers to that.
cheating.
But I know back then I didn't have any of the answers. And I didn't have the answers, goddammit. I remember asking my friend's mom to help me solve a puzzle because we were that fucked. We had no idea what it was. But I think what makes Landstalker so difficult is the perspective. And I'll talk about sometimes when you think you can jump to a ledge, you can't because the perspective is off and it's a fixed perspective.
Oh,
it's very.
I think I know what you mean.
I will really highlight it in the future at one point. But it was a great game. I really enjoyed it. I was so happy to have finished that game. Oh my god! Thank God. Landstalker is over. Buried that one. But yeah. So, anyways, guys, we could go on forever. I think we're already hitting the 13-minute mark on this video.
Dear
Type of
God.
thing. Yeah, quite a lot of blabbering and stuff like that. But who knows? Maybe if you guys want, we'll come back to some memories of Game Fan magazine and the golden years of our childhood gaming and on all that great stuff. So, anyways, guys, until next time.